Okay, so while we're waiting for Angela to change into another outfit to see another cool car, I'm really interested in this Ratrod. So George is going to tell me about what this is, how he found it, how he built it, and just everything about it that we can think of. So George, what is this? What is this, a VW, or is this completely custom?
This is a complete custom. This is Ratiki. This is a 67 Volkswagen. We took it, we chopped it, we channeled it 14 inches. I lowered it.
Okay, wait a second. What's channeling mean?
Channeled the frame so that I was able to raise up all the shifting linkage and all your foot controls above the floor pan, because I only have about 4-inch ground clearance here. So, you know, we needed to do that, so I was able to put a 32 Ford front end in on it, and that we bought back with the A-arms we had to tie into the body.
Okay, so now,
stable.
You said a 32 Ford front end.
Front end. Yep.
Now, how do you pick a 32 Ford front end for a Volkswagen?
Well, 32 Ford front end is a very common front end used on just about any hot rod you want to build these days, because they're so adaptable for cutting, adjusting, re-welding brackets where you need them. They were very just a nice, straight, bare axle to always start with. It really was. So, because we actually cut this one down 1.5 feet for the narrow it in. It was actually a lot wider. Mm-hmm. So when we cut it and re-welded it, narrowed it in, then we threw a Ford steering box in on it with the knuckles. I put the A-arms back in, welded that, and then we came around. I put a 38 Ford front windshield frame we cut down, and I flipped it open so that you got cross-through ventilation. Then
hi, Mary.
Good morning. Then we turned around and I suicided the doors. I took the hinges from the rear of the doors and I completely reversed them. I just took them off because I says I didn't want something that was normal. I mean, this car is far from normal.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to stop there. When I got to the doors, that's when I said, Paulie, let's take the hinges, put them there, and we'll put suicide doors, because this was a feature that was from like 1932 to 1934 Fords, which was very nice. So then we did that. I closed in the windows, no windows on the side, because the rain gutter right here actually keeps the rain from coming in the car when you're driving. It had a sunroof, so what we did was I duplicated.
Now this is a Volkswagen that it came with a sunroof?
It was 1967, had a sunroof from the factory, but we took that out and I wanted to duplicate how it looks like the ship's cargo hold. So I made this wood I would say basket type thing to just cover up the hole. And
so this is all made. You made this?
Yes.
Or did you have this made?
Nope. I made this personally.
You do everything?
In my shop. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. No, I do everything. There's nothing on this car that my hands have not cut, touched, or done. You know, we do all the cutting and welding, and that's why my friend Paulie gets nervous when I get the plasma cutter in my hands. He's like, oh no, here we go. You know, because we did that. Then I came to the backside. And this is a whole, we scalloped in a whole 1956.
Come look at this.
A whole 1956 rear window that we got out of a junkyard. Because a 67 Volkswagen usually has the one big back window. Well, I wanted something cool like the old teardrop airplane windows. So I found a 56 Volkswagen in the junkyard and I sawzalled off the back and bought it here, and we, you know, got that to fit in.
Where are the junkyards that you find things from the 30s and the 40s and the 50s?
Well, we have a couple still up here in Rhinebeck, up in Poughkeepsie, and I know a few of them that I know the owners, and when I go there, they just let me go rummaging through, because I tell them, I says, listen, I have nothing in my pockets, and when I come out, if whatever parts I have, I'll pay for. Mm-hmm. You know, because
And are they reasonable?
Yeah.
You have to haggle with them a little bit?
Not much. I picked up that whole window system for $40.
Oh, wow.
You know, but you just go in there with the tools. You got to know what you're looking for.
And so it's a pick your part.
Pick your part. Well, it's not really a pick your part. For some people, they do it. Their insurance, they won't let you.
Yeah.
I had to sign a waiver and tell the guy I'm going to walk through his yard, and I might come out with just a blinker. I might come out with a window. I might come out with a door. I don't know what I'm coming out with, because again, something has to hit my eye.
So now when you go
I found
in,
that windshield, that was in a 38 Ford, and I'm looking at it going, that will work. And Paulie's like, that's too big. I said, no, we're going to cut it. You know, and we did. We cut that frame down. That took 4 windshields to get that windshield to work.
Wow.
I had to buy 4 1967 Volkswagen windshields, and retried cutting, but it was unsuccessful. Then I took it to my friend's glass shop, and he showed me the old school way that they do with the cigarette lighter, and they scored it, and then he just snapped it. I was like, oh, I was missing the lighter.
I gotta find out about the cigarette lighter part.
Yeah. Then I threw in here, it's a 1972 Porsche Engine, just from a 911 with twin Webers. I did pointless ignition, so it doesn't break up at all. And
now,
then,
did Porsches do generators? I thought that was just a Volkswagen thing.
No, the Porsches, every motor has a generator to keep the battery currents going.
Yeah, but not alternator.
Well, no, they do the generators in the old days. Today they have alternators.
Yeah.
No cars have a generator anymore. They all have alternators. These are the old school ones. You know, I just wanted that look, and then we took the hood. And after I lowered the car, you could see, I had to cut this hole out, and we lipped it over because the hood wouldn't fit over the alternator. This is in the stock position. It's just that I lowered the car 14 inches down onto its frame. Mm-hmm. So I had to make exceptions for everything. That's why I did the cutouts so that stuff was able to stick out once we put the hood back on. These 4 Zoot screws hold the hood on. You just take those screws off and this hood lifts off. You know, other than that.
And there's nothing legal-wise that you have to have fenders on here?
Well, certain states frown on it, but for the most part, I've never, in 3 years now, since I built this car and been driving it, I've never had any problem. I had an officer pull me over once just because this thing is cool. I can check it out. You know, so that was the only thing.
So you're the guy that gets pulled over by a cop to get compliments.
Compliment. I don't get tickets.
Because I don't get that from cops when they pull me
people
over.
always love my fenders are for sissies, and they go, oh, this is rubbing. This is Rubbin's Racing. You know, when those tires are hitting there, you're in the turn pretty good. Other than that, like I say, we did a nice roll and tuck interior with the aluminum. The toolbox in the back there has my battery in it. That's where the battery for the car is. We have speakers, stereo. I even did the roof inside. I wanted it to have some creature comforts. Even though it's a rat rod, I wanted it to have some creature comforts when you're going down the road. You know, my wife and I, my friends, we go down. The stereo works great. You know, all the little joke stuff with the interior light and all that. That's just all novelty stuff. It's got a cool little horn like a bull. You know.
What are your cup holders made out of?
Paint cans from Paulie's Spray Booth. We took the paint cups, we turned them upside down, and drilled them, and then we just made a plate, you know, because I wanted to have it that we were able to hold our coffees and stuff. And then, like I say, that my shifter head is one of 3 that were ever made from Daddy Roth, because there's actually Daddy Roth is inside the mount. The RatFink ate Daddy Roth, and he was always in Daddy Roth's brain. And that's how Daddy Roth came up with that.
Okay, so tell me, who's Daddy Roth?
Big Daddy Roth. He's the biggest car designer and builder that's ever walked on this earth. He's well known from the 50s, 60s, and early 70s. He's built the Beatnik Bandit, you know, all types of cars like that. Stagecoach, you know, it goes on and on. He's got a lot of cars in the museums all over the place, motorcycles. He's passed on now, but his son Cody still lives on with Big Daddy's wife, and they travel the country, still upholding and, you know, selling things for Big Daddy, and he's just still a big, well-known name in the household.
So really tell me, when you pick this Volkswagen, do you like draw out what you want this to be, or is this all existing in your head?
It is existing. I look at something and I go, you know, I could do this. And then, yes, I will do a couple sketches so that my mind, my friends or whoever's helped me can see what my mind's thinking. I go, I wanted something like this. This is how we want it. I'm not a chip foos, but we come real close to on a pattern or design or something that we're looking for. And I'm like, that's it. That's what I want to do. And basically, I'll start, once I build a car, I start from the bottom up. I'll get that frame either box channeled or Z'd up to where I have my platform. Then from there is where we build onto that platform. And then that's whatever you finish up with, you know, that's what we have. Mm-hmm. You know, I make it that the suspension, the brakes, the steering, everything's all good. Your frame is good. And then you come up from there.
Now, and these leather straps, are these functional straps or is this decoration straps?
Those are functional straps. They'll hold down that hood. If we took those straps off and I was driving down the hood would flip up on us. You know, everything. I like the old school, like the old English used to do on the MGs and the Triumphs. They used to use old leather straps to hold down their bonnets. I call this a bonnet. It's not a hood, it's a bonnet. You know, so that when we go to the nice fancy car shows, I'm like, what are you talking about? I have a bonnet.
And the surfboard came from where?
The surfboard, my son works for UPS. It was pretty cool. It was an old junk beat up surfboard. He calls me up, Dad, I found something for Ratiki. So he bought it down, and it was a great candidate for the look I wanted for the car. So my friends pinstriped it up to accommodate the car. Ratiki, Tiki God on there, and some other pinstripe, and then I made the wood fin, and my friend did the VW on there so that people can actually, because there's so many people besides the two emblems on here, they don't know what this car is. When it goes past them, they're like, what is that? And I'm like, well, it just passed you. It's a Volkswagen.
But this, unlike most of your cars, this is your car.
Is my
You're not selling this car.
No, this car is not for sale. It's not for sale. It's labor of love. We just had so much fun building this car that when we got done, honestly, my wife and I are blessed to have a slew of cars, and when we go into the shop in the mornings on a Sunday to go to a car show, this has been the candidate that we've taken out more than any of them, the rest of them. We'll be like, what do you want to take to the car show? Let's take the Volkswagen. And we'll get in this and drive it. Everybody that knows me laughs because they're like, George, you got beautiful cars and you come with this. I said, and what's wrong with this?
I'm sure someone's offered to buy this.
I get offers on this car just about on a daily basis.
Really?
Yes, I have a lot of standing offers on this car. This in the Volkswagen world is like really out there to those Volkswagen people. And there's a lot of collectors that just want this. And they actually, I have had requests to make a few more. And I was thinking about doing another one or two of these. You know, and I was going to, like, Ratiki's son. You know, not the real one, but this is like a clone. You know, we'll make another one or something and let somebody else enjoy one because I don't want to give this up yet.
Yeah,
I still enjoy driving
it.
I just drove it today, a good 45 minutes. It was a little chilly, but it was worth it. You get, for the smiles of the miles that you get driving this car down the road, this is a car that makes everybody excited from when they see it, from young or old. Your old people come over and go, oh my God, look what you did to this Volkswagen. Young kids come over and they love the idea that it's just chopped channel, it's got the rat traps, it's called Ratiki. They love it. So it's just a lot of fun, and I enjoy seeing that the people enjoy themselves, you know, seeing the car. And that's where it's all about.
Well, this is awesome, George. Thanks for showing us.
You're
And
welcome,
now
sir.
hopefully we'll see Angela in whatever outfit she changed in for the car she's going to show us next, and George will tell us about that.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you, Gary. Great idea.